Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Ghostly Greetings. I am your host, Marie. There really needs to be something added on there, doesn't it? Because it just seems so lackluster. Anyway, this episode is going to be about communicating with spirits. I've done it a couple times in the past, nothing major, just like your normal Ouija board or, high school stuff when I was younger. But there are ways that we can do it safely, and we want to make sure that we do it safely because otherwise we can grab attachments from negative spirits. We can have negative spirits come through and start haunting us or spaces. So we just want to make sure that we do it safely when we do communicate. A good thing to grab that you really, 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 really want to make sure you grab is sage or Palo Santo wood, or some kind of incense that has protective properties, because this stuff is known for cleansing spaces. And you want to make sure you do that after your session, because this lets the spirits know that your time is done to go away. It's time for you to leave. You want to make sure that you use something that is cleansing, that will make your space safe and yours again. It lets, like I said, it lets them know we're done here. Time to go home. We're done talking. A good thing that you want to do is you want to try and set up different conductors for them to communicate with. They are known for using a variety of things. So you can use candles. Like, they use the flame of the candle to indicate yes or no. You can also use liquid. Water usually ripples when spirits are close. They also have been known to use scent before. So like maybe incense or something like that. Or they will they will bring scent to themselves. Like, I've been in places where a spirit has been close and I could smell like cigar smoke or cigarette smoke or like chewing tobacco, that kind of thing. Or even like perfume that they used to wear, cologne that they used to wear, that kind of stuff. You can also use audio and visual recording equipment. Like, that's how we get our EVPs, or, we see orbs in like the videos and stuff like that, or shadows, or even you could use Polaroids, use your digital cameras, because you can see the spirits and stuff in the pictures themselves. Sometimes I know some really great visual evidence has been captured using Polaroids or digital cameras, or even like infrared cameras. That's the other thing. Thermal imaging, you can use that if you're really going to get into it. But for just like simple, basic communicating with spirits, audio, visual recording, even just your phone, that would work perfect. You want to make sure when you are conducting a spirit communication session that you want to be clear. You want to be direct. You want to talk openly and authentically. You want to be yourself. Like, you don't want to come out talking like these ye olden times, thou dost, whatever. You want to make sure that you talk the way you would normally talk to another person, because they can sense that shit. They can sense when you are not being you, when you're being fake, and they take that as an insult. They take that as you trying to make fun of them, even if it's, a spirit from, the older times. They will take that as, as you making fun of them. And they don't like that. They won't like that at all. They won't communicate with you, or they will either, they will be malevolent, and you don't want that either. And I've had questions asking, if you can use Ouija boards, if Ouija boards actually work, and they do. You just want to make sure that when you're using a Ouija board, you be very, very, very careful. Because using Ouija boards, they can open portals, and you don't want to be messing with portals. You want to be very careful with that. See me. You want to make sure that when you're using a Ouija board, you close your session correctly. Because if you don't close your session correctly, then this portal remains open and anything can come through. So negative spirits, demons, shit like that. You don't want that. You don't want that coming through, because then they can come through. They can grab an attachment to your space. They can grab an attachment to you. And then one of you is going to need to be exorcised. And that shit's not fun. You don't want that. So you want to make sure that you are safe when doing it. A good way for protection, to make sure that you are protected, is to use salt and to make a protective circle around you or around the objects that you are using. So if you are using a Ouija board, you could use a protective ring of salt around the board to make sure that whatever you are contacting stays there. You want to make sure that if you're not using the Ouija board, you can do a protective circle around yourself. That way nothing can come in at you and attach itself to you. It's just, an extra layer of protection that you want. Another thing is that there are also protective crystals. There's also spell jars for protection that you can create or you can buy. I know some great spell jars. If anybody is interested, just let me know in the comments and I can give you the things that you will need for those and how to create them yourself. I also make them myself, so if anybody needs one or doesn't feel like creating them, send me, leave me a comment and I'll get a hold of you and we'll figure something out. Or if anybody else has any tips for protective items and how to protect yourself while communicating with spirits, drop it down in the comments again, and we will connect just to help our viewers a little bit more. So I know I've said it before, and I think I'm going through this really fast. To me, it feels like I'm going through this really fast, but I'm probably not. I'm probably just rambling and, sounding dumb. Whatever. You're going to listen. So 1, you want to make sure that you have something to smudge your space with, be it sage or Palo Santo wood. New Age shops are great to get this stuff. Also, sometimes you can get them at in the springtime, you can just get them at the garden centers. Wow, my mind doesn't work half the time, so it is what it is. You can also want to make sure that when you get your sage, you want to get it from a positive source, because if the person that you get it from is negative and has negative intentions, that shit's going to go through your sage and it's just going to make your sage void. It's not going to work. It's not going to cleanse your space properly. Make sure you use different conductors for your spirits, because they are like us. We like variety. They like variety. They might not like communicating with one thing, but they'll use another thing. So make sure you have different conductors for your spirits when you talk to them. Talk openly, authentically, directly. If they start scaring you, you want to be direct. Don't be afraid. Don't show them that you're afraid, because they will use that against you and they will see that as a weakness and they will torment you. So you want to make sure you're direct. If something's making you afraid, you look at them. You'd be like, hey, this is making me afraid. I really need you to stop, because I don't like this. This is not how I want to be communicating with you. Please stop. Don't show that you're scared, because they'll use it against you. It also makes you sort of weaker to attachments and stuff like that when you show your emotions, and make sure it makes you weaker. You can use Ouija boards. I don't recommend it, because you want to make sure shit gets closed properly. Please do your research when you use Ouija boards, because it is a very dangerous game when you try to use those. Hey, buddy. Just because so many people don't know how to close them properly, and then it creates attachments and things can come through and stay out, and they stay open, and things just constantly come through and mess with you, and you don't want that because negative shit can come out, or like demons, what have you, anything can come and attach itself to you. So you want to make sure that you use it properly, do your research if you want to use the Ouija board. Make sure you have things for protection. You can use, there's salt crystals, spell jars. I know there's sigils that you can use that are protective. Runes, protective runes. I don't use runes myself. I'm not very, I'm not very versed in them, but I do know some people do use them. VVs. Another thing some people use, you can also go see a psychic medium. If you don't feel like communicating yourself, you can go see the psychic mediums. Using tarot cards, you can reach to the tarot cards. You can talk, say like, spirits, can you guide me? Show me wish cards for this certain situation. It also works with pendulums. You can communicate with the spirits that way. You can be like, ask them a yes or no question, and like the pendulum swings in a certain way for yes, no. There's maybe, there's re-ask or unclear. So that's another way you could do it too. So there's lots of different ways that you can communicate with your spirits. Just make sure you're doing it safely. I cannot reiterate that enough. Make sure you are speaking correctly, directly, authentically, and safely. And that's pretty much it. That's I've had this video requested a few times for me to do, and I wish it was kind of, a little bit longer, but that's it. It's really basic, really simple, as long as you know that you are doing it safely. And again, do your research before you actually start a session, and make sure you have the materials and tools that you need to be protected and safe. Other than that, it's really not that hard. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to add them below. Tag your friends, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay spooky.